Well, great to be back on Saban Media Sports Extra on YouTube. And like I always do, it's always ready to serve you the best of sporting content. Kumase Asante Kotoko is in the news. And obviously, it has something to do with the 1-0 defeat they suffered at the hands of Accra House of Folk. The news coming in from Asante Kotoko is that the supporters are not happy. In fact, the supporters are angry. And first things first, the output of the technical team, they are not really comfortable with that. And they are sensing doom. And the second thing is that they are also not okay with the performance of the players, especially when it comes to their discipline level. In the game against House of Folk, they exhibited a lot, and the fans are not okay with that. And the last thing is that the fans are also not okay with the presence of the interim management committee, and we'll be having a conversation about all these issues happening at Kumase Asante Kotoko. Now, first things first, let me deal with the IMC issue. IMC, Interim Management Committee, headed by Nana Apinkra. IMC no say we a Kotoko fan. Now we demand it. Said this time round the IMC must go. In fact, Opemso, Miboni Diana Bubumu must terminate the IMC. To some extent, I will agree with you because IMC, they come in as temporary solution. Yes, they come in as temporary solution, and after a good period of time, let's say 5 months, 6 months, they must go. Yes. But share the Kotoko IMC, they've been in office for how many years? Only God knows. More than 2 years, more than 3 years. In any serious football team, with no disrespect to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but let me call a spade a spade. In any serious football team, the IMC will not last more than 2 years, even more than a year. In any serious football team, IMC in wacha a year no occur. So Obekaya, yenya the normalization committee. How many years did they last? The normalization committee that took over after the announced expose, how many years did they last? So BBA interim there and check. That is why Karim Zito came in as interim head coach of Asante Kotoko. And fast forward, after 6 months, after 4 months, 5 months, Zito was named as the head coach of the team. And share the Ghana Football Association and Mremua. Team BA here board and IMC. Indeed, the Ghana Football Association crown was he blame you because the kind of compromisation or Mama Kotoko enyano. Mwa Kotoko team no per the rules, per the regulation, team be any one of was what day IMC a year juma more than a year, and I say even 2 years. Inti GFN crown or my Bokotoko Fwabro. Now let's look at the work of the IMC. IMC Abba players Ako because Kotoko more money in so any ya sacrificing players, ya saki players, coaches Abba, coaches Iko. Coach Isaba, maybe IMC need us work on more. Yes, still the problem of Kumasi Asante Kotoko is still hanging. So to some extent, you agree with some section of Kotoko fans who demanded said this time round the IMC must go. And the NTM may support MOM and say the IMC of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Nana Prinkra head no. Nana Prinkra, what is his record in football? What is his portfolio in football? Yemfa novice enye football. Yemfa ubia onkuta experience. DNT and even some of the jobs say who apply requirement ni bi ni say was say unya experience kakra. Because experience, they say, is always the best teacher. So I agree with Kotoko fans who demand said this time around IMC no. I was so moko Kotoko ehia board the bar. At least there will be a lot of professionals in the system and Obebua, Asante Kotoko, and Kanko. And I know if this decision is taken, there will be massive changes at Kumasi Asante Kotoko, because the board will come in with professionalism, and that will up the standard of Asante Kotoko. Now, the second thing, the output of the technical team. In fact, what I saw on Sunday was not encouraging. The boys played as if there was no coach on the bench. The boys played as if there was no instruction coming from the bench. It was more of the boys playing the game their own way. As a normal ball, chacha ball, won't change the ball, and no ball. The indiscipline was all over. Number 5, number 8 position. Number 4, baby 2 ko 3 overlap, 6 drop and cover just will be a done in a home master and bobo. So no wonder the best player in the Asante Kotoko team was a pale shadow of himself. Samba Ndongani ono eduru time kura no abre. Oto ne nan kura enye yi. So ni nyina no eya na coaching eka ho. Coaching eka ho. Se uye coach na se uye interim anasa assistant na untimi stampe wo authority over boys na a big problem, and you don't have to be there in the first place. And looking at the demeanor of Coach Prince Owusu, I can give him the benefit of the doubt, and it's early days yet, but looking at his demeanor and looking at Hamza Obeng and how they failed woefully to command Asante Kotoko players, and said they should be disciplined, they should stay in their position, they should play the game according to their instructions. I think if almost there season there, Kotoko ebe struggle because the boys are not really ready to buy into their kind of approach to the game unless they are able to sit the boys down, have a deep conversation with them, get them on the same page. Ebiano in the bit me abua. But per what I saw on Sunday, I do not think the boys buy into the knowledge and I said the instruction a free Kotoko technical bench on eba, and we the problem kesiye and a bebra Asante Kotoko. Now the players, I think for the players, they were that indisciplined, because in a big game of such nature, yes, in you track a son wouldn't an achia. So omo to damn crown. So be in China, so wash daminibia. I know time game ni mu esen wa wo to damn because of pressure. Inti as a footballer, the moment untie wu coach no, there are days a beko yama, but in terms of majority or probability, faili, you are going to be a failure, because area simuno obie here guidance, obie here assistance. And so for the players to go into the game against House of Folk with that kind of attitude on the field of play, where they would decide to play the game their way and not the standard that coaches in the person or mobono, it was so disappointing and it was that bad. Comparing this Asante Kotoko team to Accra House of Folk in terms of talent, I think the Kotoko team, they are a bit better than the House of Folk team. But what House of Folk team no ewo over Kotoko, and they say the boys or the players of Accra House of Folk, you can clearly see that there is that rapport. There is that rapport between the boys and Coach Masudi Dramani, and that respect is always there between the boys and Coach Masudi Dramani. So they believe in Didi Dramani's leadership, they believe in his guidance, and they are just following his path. So in as much as talent-wise, Kotoko is a bit better than House of Folk, unity and understanding, cohesion, listening to one voice will definitely come with that advantage over a team full of Ronaldinho's and the boys were disappointing, and moving forward, Asante Kotoko 7 matches in the second round. And how many victories for Kumasi Asante Kotoko? Only 1. You resume leg no Kotoko about close to 7 matches. Only 1 win. And with this kind of performance, it's a technical bench in the crown, as a technical team, no, and a performance, no, at least the boys should do better. The boys should do better. And moving forward, I don't know if they are going to bring in a new coach. The new coach bar, I think c'est Beboa. Prince Owusu and Hamza Obeng, looking at the attitude of Kumasi Asante Kotoko players, I don't think they carry that weight bit manage dressing room well. And the kind of politics at Kumasi Asante Kotoko, you need a strong person to be in charge as the head coach of the club. Else, the indiscipline, the politics, the interference will only sink Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And I think I will subscribe to the idea of Asante Kotoko naming a new head coach. So that is about it on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And let me hear from you in the comment section. What is the way forward for Asante Kotoko? It is true that it is high time the IMC, their appointment must be terminated. And it is also true that Kumasi Asante Kotoko players, they were indisciplined in the game against Hearts of Folk. And what is your take on the performance of the technical team? Technical team way, and it does for Hornmana. Do they offer a glimmer of hope, or you subscribe to the idea that as soon as possible, Asante Kotoko must appoint a new head coach? Do well to subscribe to 7 Media Sports Section on YouTube for the very best of sporting content. Have a wonderful day.